When those dwelling within bustling cities grow weary of the ceaseless clamor and find themselves troubled by the uproarious life of the metropolis, Meng Yao had long departed from the city where she had dwelled for many years. She returned to her ancestral homeland. In a long-deserted, empty old house, she, with but her own hands, rebuilt a dwelling many could only dream of. Warm in winter, cool in summer. Around the house, lush greenery cast gentle shade, the air filled with birdsong and floral fragrance. To dwell in such a picturesque haven is truly one of life's rarest delights. This is Meng Yao, brimming with spirit and resolve, walking alone along a narrow mountain path. For many long years, she had not returned, yet the surroundings remained ever so serene and pleasing. Nothing had changed. This was where Meng Yao had spent her childhood days. Here, countless memories lingered. The thatch-roofed house of old still stood, steadfast and unyielding, its form preserved as before. Meng Yao gently pushed open the door, stepping into the abode she had lived in for so many years. She observed in silence. Already, plans had begun to form within her heart. It seemed the entire house must be torn down and rebuilt anew. Wearied, she set down her travel pack and drank deeply from her water skin. At last, she felt her strength return. Then, Meng Yao prepared to disassemble the dilapidated old house, tearing it down piece by piece. Though the years had worn it down, its demolition proved not to be difficult. The aged planks that once supported the home had long since rotted and weakened. She could remove them with ease. Nevertheless, great caution must be taken during the teardown process. One must heed methods and employ skill. First, Meng Yao removed the obstacles surrounding the house, as well as those unnecessary ones within the center. The framework that supported the rooftop, she left untouched for now. Then she climbed onto the rooftop, clearing away the withered grass that covered it. Do not underestimate these dried grasses. They once shielded from wind and rain. Back in the days of the 60s and 70s, many of the ancient dwellings of olden times relied upon such materials, using them as the very fabric with which to raise a house. To see Meng Yao sprawled atop the roof, one could not help but hold their breath in worrying. Safety must ever be heeded. Who dares claim women are inferior to men? When it comes to laboring, Meng Yao is no less capable than any other. Upon clearing the clutter above, it became visible the remaining outline of the house's former construction, its framework structure, and the timbers once used. To obtain a level surface fit for rebuilding, each and every beam must be removed. For one of gentler strength, such as a woman, the labor is most surely great. The hardship of such toil, one need not imagine it is plain to see. Yet as the saying goes, effort bears fruit. Through Meng Yao's unwavering resolve, all obstacles were at last cleared away. Yet the original plot of land, if one desired to erect a grander house, its space remained slightly insufficient. Thus, Meng Yao made a decision. He first chiseled away a portion of the slope side to create more room within. At the same time, she used the excess earth to fill the hollowed depression in front. The land, once filled and packed, now appeared more level and broad. To build a fine dwelling is no task of a single day. Moreover, deep within the mountains, weather oft turns in an instant. Suddenly, rain may fall without warning. Thus, in the midst of her hurried work, Meng Yao could finally afford a brief moment of rest. Once the rain cleared and skies brightened, she returned, bearing upon her back the heavy, sturdy beams she had once torn down. Though aged by time, the wood remained firm and strong. Once the outer layer was stripped away, these timbers could be used once more. In days past, when houses were built, wooden beams were fixed together using nails. Such construction was not of great sturdiness. So now, to ensure the new house would stand firm and strong, Meng Yao resolved to use the Sun Mao mortise and tenon method. She first took up her saw. Along the sides of each timber, Meng Yao carved precise mortises one by one. Each slot size, length, and depth had to be measured and planned to perfection. The mortise and tenon structure a craft much cherished within the traditional woodworking trade. It requires neither nails nor sticky modern glues. One must simply take the carved wooden beams and boards with joints prepared and fit them together one piece at a time. And lo, each piece locks firm, never loosening nor shaking. Under the blazing sun, Meng Yao's face glistened, sweat dripping endlessly down her cheeks. Yet for the sake of building her perfect pastoral haven, she paid the sweat no mind, laboring tirelessly and without rest. Compared to the use of nails, the mortise and tenon method requires far more intricate effort. Each timber or plank must be precisely measured and carved at the joinery points. Even a slight misalignment, and the pieces will no longer interlock properly. Thus, the skill of the craftsman is tested indeed, yet by Meng Yao's swift and skilled hands. One might surmise she had trained under a seasoned master for quite some time, and now that knowledge has become her greatest asset in building this new home. Indeed, a person must learn many skills to sustain oneself in this world, so that when needed most, one need not beg another. By the time half the day had passed, Meng Yao had already finished processing beams and boards. Yet she remained relentless, continuing her labor without pause. It seemed that in her longing to dwell in the new home swiftly, she gave her all without hesitation. At that very moment, Meng Yao was categorizing and assembling each carved timber and wood block. She pieced them together to form the main structure of the house, and from these, the framework of her future dwelling took shape. Such a triangular frame ensures stability and strength, serving as the foundation upon which to fasten the overhead beams. This triangular framework design requires 3 identical pieces to be crafted. They are to be placed upright at evenly spaced intervals upon the ground to raise the process frameworks with ease. Meng Yao first carved a hole on either side of the ground, and into them she placed a long beam, turning it into a lever for lifting and support. This timber would serve the role of a fulcrum and aid. Convenient it is to pull with ropes, a triangular frame of weight considerable. Though the method be simple, its efficacy is beyond doubt, albeit the frame now stands upright. Its foundation remaineth unsteady. One must still climb atop the structure and bind it well with rope at 2 separate spots. Thus shall the frame be firm and stable. Meng Yao stretches forth her nimble hands. Indeed, a master she is in the art of climbing. After half a day's toil, the first frame by Meng Yao's hand was fastened with utmost firmness. As for the remaining 2 frames, they were set up in precisely the same manner. Behold, after half a day's endeavor, Meng Yao remained spirited and unwearied. Fatigue found no place in her. Ah, to be young is indeed a gift. With the frames erected one by one, next cometh the placement of crossbeams atop the frames. The crossbeams timber was the mortise and tenon joints carved but moments before. Thus assembly was most convenient. Align them true. A gentle strike setteth them firm. To the eye it seemeth, these triangular frames, though upright, are yet not fully steady. But once Meng Yao climbs atop them and lays each crossbeam in its rightful place, those triangle frames are soon strengthened by beam after beam. With the framework now complete, longer timbers must be carried hence. Each long log shall be set apart from the next, laid atop the frame above. Distance must be kept with care to prepare for the later placement of metal sheets. Brightly color the sheets and not seemingly heavy. Yet as Ming Yao walks atop the frame, she places each sheet with utmost caution. Each one resteth precisely upon the timbers placed afore. As one who buildeth a house, Ming Yao lacketh not a single tool. With nails she fixeth each sheet with precision. Compared with other labors, such as the setting of the frame, each and every task demanded great strength and effort. Yet the affixing of iron sheets brought Ming Yao a sigh of relief. Shouldst thou suffer from vertigo, to see Ming Yao standing atop the roof would surely cause thy heart to clench in worrying for her. Once the rooftop was at last completed, the diligent Ming Yao turned her efforts to the house's surroundings, laying out drainage channels with great care. In the season of rains, the waters oft flood like a golden mountain. 'Tis a matter all who raise dwellings must ponder with due diligence, especially so for abodes perched upon the face of a mountain. The inner floor must needs be higher than the outer ground. Ming Yao, wielding a hammer of wood finely crafted, did strike the loosened soil without cease. With each rhythmic pounding, the earth did slowly gain firmness and strength. Around the periphery, planks were placed to frame the earth. Then cement was poured thereupon, and spread to evenness with skilled hands. Such smooth and practiced motion Ming Yao displayed, no less than a seasoned mason well-versed in the art. Time flew with silent swiftness, and ere one knew it, night had descended. After a night's well-earned rest, Ming Yao returned come morning, finding the cement had dried firm. She removed the wooden frame surrounding it, to ensure the home be most comfortable within. Ming Yao laid elegant tiles atop the cemented floor, each tile placed with an eye for beauty. For one such as Ming Yao, whoever pursueth perfection, naught shall be left half-done or wanting. Even though this grand abode be raised by her lone hands, she had prepared all materials long afore, so that every action flowed like water from a mountain spring, with neither haste nor confusion. Never did she fumble for want of supplies, nor fall into chaos from shortage. At this very moment, Ming Yao did take the planks prepared with mortise and tenon joints, and began to raise the very walls of her house, be it the uppermost level, or all the boards for the surrounding frame. All were assembled according to her vision, with no detail neglected. And when at last she came to the door, she affixed a gate of wood most finely carved. Through days of toil and unyielding effort, Ming Yao's dream dwelling had at last been brought to glorious fruition. From this day henceforth, she possessed a home where in body and soul might find peace. Far from the din and clamor of the city, the air was fresh and pure. She raised village chickens in her spare time, and other such humble livestock. Such was her life, tranquil, simple, yet rich in flavor and joy. And thus, regarding this idyllic abode of hers, what dost thou think?
Cảm ơn mọi người đã đón xem hết tất cả video của mình. Thì trong mọi người có muốn đón xem những cái tập tiếp theo thì hãy nhớ đăng ký kênh và cho mình một lượt like để của mình có thể thêm nhiều lực để sản xuất ra nhiều cái video hay hơn nữa. Mọi người hãy đón xem Mộng Giao những cái bước sinh tồn tiếp theo của Mộng Giao sẽ như thế nào và cô sẽ làm những gì tiếp theo. Rất mong mọi người để lại những cái ý kiến tích cực cho mình để mình và Mộng Giao có thể sản xuất ra những cái video hay và ý nghĩa để gửi đến tất cả mọi người. Mình rất vui khi được đóng góp một phần nào đó những cái video hay và chất lượng trên cái nền tảng YouTube này. Cảm ơn tất cả mọi người.